Nowadays, zombies are trending. So, why not talk about the zombies in K-pop? Okay, no, bad joke. But it is true that there have been incredible examples of K-pop groups being on the verge of disbandment or even completely disbanded, and they return and break the expectations. Really, from dead to revived. It could have been a change in image, in concept, a new formation or focus. Of course, a bit of luck, but their success wasn't only that. Each of these examples have a lot to show us, so let's start with a list. Oh, but before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. The biggest and main example of a group almost dying or on the verge of disbandment is BTS. And it didn't happen only once. At least 2 times they have thought about disbandment, and before they debuted, there had been several instances where some members could have left the group. If you want to know more about that, you can check this video. But now, talking directly about the disbandment possibilities, we have to say that the group was destined to be together against all odds. Before 2015, the group had had its ups and downs, and the company overall wasn't at its best economically. P-Dog, one of the main producers of the group, said that I Need You was made in a difficult time where the results hadn't been as expected. At some point, they thought the group wouldn't be able to continue for much longer. But we all know how that went out. In 2018, the members disclosed that they had decided to renew their contract with Big Hit Music, also known as Hybe, and thus continue their careers as idols. However, disbandment was on the table before they took this decision. They opened up and said that they had talked about it. At the time, they had felt a lot of pressure, and the possibility of disbandment was considered. But in the end, they still wanted to keep on going, performing, and enjoying music like they have always done. For BTS, they may have talked about disbandment, but they weren't really that close to it, at least not compared to other groups, like Brave Girls. The group debuted in 2011, but has gone through many lineup changes, with the current one containing only 4 members. According to the members, they had been planning to disband in 2020, and actually, they had stopped working a long time ago, before a video of their song Rolling that was released in 2017 went viral. Literally, they had stopped living in the dorms. They had no future activities, and the members were considering starting working at other places. The group was dead, but they revived due to a video going viral, and they have never had as much promotions and success as now. It may have been luck that the attention was directed to them at that time, but their hard work was palpable, and the song is also really good. Brave Girls is not the only group who had been saved by a video going viral. XID is another example of a group going through several lineup changes and not having good results until a video revived them. In 2014, a fan cam of the member Honey was posted, and a few months later, this video rekindled not only the interest on the song, but on the whole group. From there, they were able to have a stable career for the next years. Another example of groups that didn't have good results and were slowly but surely dying before some viral content saved them is Newest. It wasn't a fan video or a fan cam, but a competition show that at the time had been one of the most popular shows in South Korea. Their participation was a surprise for many, as they were already considered veterans in the industry. Nonetheless, it revived their career and bring them to levels they have never achieved before. And now that we are talking about shows that brought a new life to the participants, we have to mention Queendom and Oh My Girl. It is debatable whether this group could have been categorized as a dying group, but what is certain is that they haven't had as good results as after they went on the competition show. The group debuted in 2015 and had achieved some recognition and a stable fanbase, but they still were far behind the top girl groups of the time. They ended up being the biggest surprise of the show. They captivated the audience with their performances, and in the end, turned all that attention in a very successful comeback. Now, if all of these groups were on the verge of disbandment or slowly dying, the next type of groups could be considered fully dead. It wasn't really something they could control. They all had to separate, transform, and become a new group in order to revive. First, we have the case of Wonder Girls. The group wasn't disbanded at that moment, but they had been inactive for many years, with some members leaving the company, getting married, or starting solo careers. No one was really expecting them to come back. It was a surprise that, after 3 years, the group would make a comeback with a new lineup. What was also interesting was that a former member of the group actually returned for that promotion period, something that rarely happens in K-pop. And it is also important to mention that this comeback wasn't a reunion kind of project. There had been many other groups, especially from the second generation, that had done that in the last couple of years. For Wonder Girls, this was a transformation and a revival of their career for some of them. In this category, we also have to mention different. They didn't have members leaving the group, nor were they in a difficult situation regarding their popularity. One of the top girl groups in the third generation, they all didn't renew their contract with their former agency and suddenly, the group disbanded. It was a shock at the time, a very well-known girl group just separating from their agency. That, however, wasn't new. Lots of other groups had decided to not renew their contracts and go their separate ways. What is interesting is that from this situation, a new group was formed. 3 of the members will continue their career as a new group, and we also have to say that the other members completely support this. In this situation, we can say or think that they revive from the ashes, and hopefully they have a great path ahead of them. Another group that had to transform and become a new one is Dreamcatcher. They have been able to get a solid fan base with their appealing and somehow dark concept, and now they are an established K-pop girl group. But before that, they were Minx. They promoted for a full year and released a couple of songs with not much attention of the public, until they announced that they would be re-debuting in 2017 with 2 new members and the name Dreamcatcher. The whole concept of the group was very different and unique. They embraced it completely, and they were able to differentiate themselves from others, something that is difficult to achieve in K-pop. And now that we have mentioned differentiating a group from others and embracing a new concept, let's talk about the groups that have achieved this perfectly. It is not easy when a group changes their concept, and many groups have failed in the process. At some point, groups could be considered stagnant, and they need a different style. All these groups had a transformation in their concept and music, and were able to bring their careers to a higher level. First, we have Girls' Day, with the first songs having little impact, and after a few changes in the lineup and a completely new concept and songs, their path began to flourish. Similar to Dreamcatcher, but they didn't re-debut or change their group name. Another group is AOA, where their initial concept was a band group, but that didn't give them much attention. Then they changed and had a different style of music, and no longer played instruments. That turned out to be ideal for them. Success happened shortly after that. And finally, let's talk about A-Pink. They had a very successful career. Their innocent image and melodic songs were what they were known for. Nonetheless, every group grows up, and it suddenly is not enough to have the same image. In the case of A-Pink, they were actually getting less sales and even had some prolonged periods of inactivity, or at least longer than normal. And when things seemed that they may be near disbandment, after their 7-year contract ended, they decided to renew their contract and change their whole image and sound. And it worked. I don't think there has been another group with such a drastic change in sound and image that has had as good results as them. I'm sure there are so many other groups in K-pop that were close to disbandment and they revived one way or another, but this is the whole list for now. You can always write in the comment section about other groups that were in this situation. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.